Okay, so what I would like you to do is to start by thinking of the beautiful humans in your classroom. So, an interesting thing happens to them when you ask this question. And I'm going to share just a few personas that come, and this is just from my Year 7 group. Is there any Year 7 teachers in the class, in the room here? I love Year 7. So this is a few that are in my classroom. There's the Frank Sinatra. He's the boss of the group. I do it my way. He generally works really well with the obliger. I'll let you do all of the work when we pair up. You have the Volts. You will never get anything out of me. The inseparable best friends. We can't be apart. Then you have Three's Not a Crowd. We would promise to do an equal amount of work. Promise. There's the Visionary. This guy will cure cancer tomorrow. He just needs to bend space and time to get there. Now let's get down to business. This is the high school version of Come on. And then the overwhelmed. Now I teach Year 7, and it's the overwhelmed as a whole consensus that I really was concerned about. So my problems with this, how do we create the conditions? How do we create conditions for effective collaboration within classrooms? And then how do we equip overwhelmed Year 7 students to not just get by, but to thrive? So these were my problems. And so what I decided to do is just to frame it a little differently and to look at it as a design challenge. So I spent my time looking outside education and what's happening in industry. What are people doing to collaborate? And so I landed on Scrum. Now, the Victorian guy's not going to stand up here and talk to you about rugby. But what I love about Scrum is as a collective group, we pull together to achieve one thing. So I'm going to talk to you about Scrum as used in agile software development. And this is a Scrum board. And the reason we sort of landed on it is it gave kids a toolkit to be able to manage their own learning. A lot of kids just look completely perplexed. And the way we do it, I'm going to unpack it in my session this afternoon, is it starts with user stories. So we were working on a project with our Year 1s. They had drawn their original toys. My Year 7 team was acting as a design consultancy. They interviewed these Year 1s, and their job was to bring their toys to life. Then what we do is we unpack it. A lot of times when we're doing a collaborative activity, a project, we don't spend enough time saying, what are the ingredients of this whole process? How much time does each one take? Looking at estimations of time and then adding it up and thinking, this is the finish line. We want to work through all of these tasks and make sure that we do it on time. So the product backlog, which we do, is basically unpacking all of the elements. And then what happens is I press the slide off, is we do a work in progress. So when they unpack it, there is one idea per post-it note. And a student's responsibility is to come and take one job, put it in the doing pile, and that's all they're focusing on. I gave my most unorganised student the most difficult job, and he absolutely smashed it. The reason being, this is your job, this is what you're working on. Okay? So then what he does is he moves that, what he thinks is done, into the full review. So he's got some ownership of his learning. Review is him and I will meet, we'll discuss. If I think it needs a little bit more work, I'll move his post-it note back to doing, we'll keep going. There is an amazing sense of achievement within a group when you are collectively pulling together and giving these kids, reducing the noise, reducing the information. By the end, and this is just a few of my students, we were able to take all of those toys, and there was 45 of them, unpack them all, and gave each child a process to be able to manage their own time, but also to feel really good about themselves because they are contributing to a collective. Thank you very much.